在
トップ、もう絶対80点台いってる。
さあ現在トップいただきました。
むちゃくちゃいい。
角度がすごかったですね。
むちゃくちゃいい。むちゃくちゃいい。かっこよい。音もめちゃくちゃかっこいいしね。
なんか上が回ってる感じの。
これエンジン何これ？
これ
RB
ですか？
リズム&ブルース。
え？
Good morning, everybody. Today's video is all about what not to do, and this is exactly why. So as you've seen in that little short clip, I zinged third gear and I also did second gear a couple of times. So long story short, if you do this, it's going to cost you a lot of money, even if you're doing it yourself. So I destroyed enough, 2 sliders in the gearbox and also the dog rings that sit on the gears. And today I'm going to show you how to rebuild that. So here's the G-Force. I've set up my workbench on the floor, only because you're probably seeing he's got workbenches everywhere. Why doesn't he do it on the workbench? This is going to seem really dumb, but I had a very bad experience when I was in New Zealand. I was in the unfortunate earthquake in Christchurch, the real big one, and it kicked in pretty much when we had the entire gearbox apart and it was all on a bench. And yeah, it was that big of an earthquake. Stuff went everywhere. That whole gearbox never got found again, long story short. So my theory is if I do it on the ground and we have an earthquake, all the parts are going to stay on the ground, you know? Like, yeah, of course I'll find them eventually, but it's how my brain works and it's not going to take long. So literally setting it up on the ground here, I'll strip this apart and I'll show you exactly what we're going to be doing here. So I ordered these G-Force parts a couple of days ago from North America, and these are the bits that I will be replacing. So these 2 sliders are identical. You can obviously chop and change them. You can actually even flip them as well. So if you wanted to flip and then you just have the grounded down bits on the downshift instead of the upshift, you can do that. But with what I'm doing, Formula Drift, I don't want any potential issues to arise. So in my brain, I'm like, I've got time because I'm waiting on the short block still. Just replace them all. So all up, this was like 1,700 Aussie dollars just for these 4 bits, plus shipping. Oh, and also tax once it gets into Japan. That was like another 120 bucks or something. So learn from my mistake, please. And the reason this happened was, if you haven't seen my previous video where I explained it, I made a very cheap gear boot and the gear boot was getting stuck in between the shifter and the stopping of the shifter. So these stoppers here make it so you can't overextend the shift forks inside the gearbox, and it was getting wedged in there. So when I was actually like trying to put it in a gear, it was going halfway and either picking neutral or zinging the dog ring, which it did multiple times. And I didn't realize that until the last day. I'm like, God damn it, it's a freaking boot I made. So I've got a new boot coming. It's a rubber one, which won't interfere with that. It's going to look a little bit more ugly, but it's not going to cost me 1,700 bucks again. So yes, I have misshifted this before, just out of like brain farts, whatever, and it hasn't caused that much damage. I just kept using it. But this time, yeah, caused enough damage for me to have to pull it apart. So I'll show you the damaged ones, but we'll just go straight to a time lapse. I know you guys have been hanging for a time lapse, so let's put some good tunes on and strip this gearbox down. Okay, so you've seen me strip this completely down from the time lapse up there. But before I strip it completely, I just wanted to show you, hopefully you can see, yeah, all the edges of the dog ring. Come on mate, focus, yeah. The edges, obviously on one side because you're going up in the gear. Yeah, they're no good. And then obviously this slider is what freaking chings them. So instead of going in, it was going like to there and just bouncing off and then going to like, yeah, just chinging it. So obviously did second and then, oh, this one will work better. No, it won't. So yeah. And as you can see, they sit pretty loose, like, because the selector fork sits over it and moves it like that, basically. And obviously when you go first and second, this one operates, this one floats in the middle. And then when you go third and fourth, this one takes over and that one sits in the middle. And that's those selector forks there, which I'll need to inspect as well, make sure they're not stretched open on the ends here, or like, you know, not straight anymore. But I checked all that already, because obviously I had to check everything and figure out what ones I'm going to order. But the gears are looking alright, like there's a bit of wear on them, but yeah, it's pretty normal. I got a spare third here for some reason. I can't remember why I had a spare third, but I do. It's only they only really get damaged if you overheat the oil. You know, run this car and like, it only holds 900 mil. So if you were to circuit race this thing and just keep going and going and going, it would probably freaking pit the gears pretty badly. Or if you do this zing into the dog rings, leave the little metal in the bottom and it keeps picking it up and the metal chews this out. But it's got a magnet in the casing, so it picks up pretty much all the metal. Now we're gonna go back to a time lapse. I'll pull, like, everything slides off. So this will probably just fall straight off. Yeah, it will. So everything just slides off. All I'm gonna do is basically grab it, face it down, next bit, face it down, next bit, face it down. And you gotta do both sides at the same time. Well, I do anyway, otherwise I'll freaking not remember how everything goes back. But if you do get stuck, there's a blow up diagram on the G-Force website and you can, yeah, go by that, but it takes a lot longer. So I try to avoid that, and no distractions, no phone calls, nothing. Just bang them off, swap these gears over, like for like, and piece it back together. So we'll go back to the time lapse. Okay, gearbox is back together after triple, quadruple checking. Everything's sweet. Went through the gears. Last thing I need to just double check is the reverse, make sure that's all good. But before I put the selector fork, hat, and shifter back on, I'll probably put, no, I won't put that back on. I'm gonna strip this down and just make sure inside's all greased and the, it's got a spring in it. So there's a, yeah, it's hard to sort of do now, but there's a spring that forces the shifter to basically go from second straight into third, so you can't money shift it. It's adjustable, and some people sort of back it off because it's a real mission to go from third back to second sometimes. That's why everyone changes their quick change, so they never have to go back to second during a run. But yeah, I'll just strip it open, make sure it's all greased up good, and then put this all back together. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse, because my phone's almost flat now, but you know, I did it for you guys. And actually one of the sliders is actually pretty good, that one there. So I'll keep that as a spare, and you can use it on third and fourth as well, which is freaking cool. Actually, second and third dog rings you can use as well on each other, which is, I did not know that. So there you have it, and I'll piece this back together. Okay, gearbox is done. So I did pull this all apart, and it wasn't actually that bad, so I didn't even bother showing you. But this freaking guy. But long story short, there was plenty of grease in there. Obviously not going to put too much, and yeah, got it shifted and sweet. But I was very distracted today, so when I put this all back together, I was like, the input shaft has a bit of play on this setup. And usually if the bearing that the input shaft sits in is like a little bit flogged out, it'll be a little bit too loose. Got me paranoid, so stripped the whole thing down again and went through the whole diagram on G-Force website to make sure all the parts were in the right order. And they were. Just, yeah, had to turn the phone off and just focus on it properly. So yeah, it's all good. Everything's sweet. Changes gears, sweet. Goes in reverse, no worries. It's a very, very simple gearbox. I just overcomplicated it, but it's done. So that's that one done, guys. And the new block was going to be shipped today. It is Friday, but yeah, everything wasn't ready yet, so didn't make the truck today. And in Australia, they don't work weekends, so it's not going to get shipped till Monday now. And I'm a little bit worried about the time frame. I got express shipping, so it should be here by like within 4 days. It's freaking so expensive, but that's all good. But I think I'm going to call it, and we're going to have to run the old faithful. Because obviously once that short block gets here, I've got to strip everything off that and put it on the new one. And it's a fire ring setup. So if you guys know how the fire ring setup works, you basically have to do a fair bit of work to obviously get that spot on. So you obviously have to sit the head on, warm it up without any coolant, just get it to operating temp. Well, not operating temp, but just get it hot. And then basically cams are going to come out because half-inch head studs can't get to them with the cams in. Loosen it off, re-torque it, do it again, and then I think you've got to do it again after that as well. So yeah, there's a lot of work involved, and for me to do it here on my own with very limited tooling, it'll be quite the freaking amount of, like, it's not hard, it's just time consuming, and that's not something I have before obviously the next round. So is what it is. Everything else is sort of ready, but I think I'm just going to call it, get this one welded up. Rusty's not here either, so I'm probably going to take it to old James. You guys don't know him yet, you will. Get this sorted, get everything back in the car, and then I can at least maybe go test it at Eversu, which I've not done this year, besides the dyno session I did with Cheetah. And I would put NOS in it if this block wasn't so freaking fragile, but I think that added stress and NOS would probably just make a new crack somewhere. It's probably going to crack somewhere else. That's it for today, guys. We'll give you an update as soon as I have any other news. And yes, new merch is coming. I got the samples, they're not spot on, so I'm going to get some more just readjusted, and that'll be available very soon. Thank you for the support, guys. See you soon.
現在
もう絶対80点台いってる。
さあ現在トップいただきました。
むちゃくちゃいい。
角度がすごかったですね。
むちゃくちゃいい。むちゃくちゃいい。かっこよい。音もめちゃくちゃかっこいいしね。
なんか上が回ってる感じの。
これエンジン何これ？
これ何
RB
ですか？
リズム&ブルース。
え